So in terms of drawing your self-portrait, I'm going to walk you through some of the steps. I am going to be using an iPad so that you can see the screen mirroring as I draw. So the first thing that you're going to want to start with is going to be just an oval for the head. It's all right if it's looking more like a circle, it's fine. If it's looking longer, that's a little bit better. Next step you're going to do is you're going to draw a line straight across. That's going to be the horizontal line where the eyes are going to go. Doesn't need to be perfectly straight. It's fine. Just remember that your eyes actually fall in the middle of your head. So from the top of your head to your eyes, it's actually the same as from your eyes to the bottom of your head. So this is actually even a little bit too high. There we go. What I'm going to also do is I'm going to choose where the person is looking. If you're not comfortable with that and you want to just draw someone looking straight ahead, it usually is a little bit easier. If you would like to draw them looking off to the side, you can do that as well. I'm going to start right now with just doing a little bit of a simpler one. And I'm going to do this line straight down the middle. That's going to help me with the symmetry on both sides. So from there, I'm going to go into where the eyes go. If you measure the space, how wide one of your eyes are, you can actually go one eye, two eyes, three eyes. The space between your two eyes is perfectly the space of a third eye. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a semicircle over there. That's going to be the top of one of my eyes. And I'm going to really, really lightly, with like a dotted line, draw one the same size connecting the two eyes. And then one more on this side. If you're drawing something in a little bit more of like a cartoon or an anime style, if that's what you're going for, the eyes are going to look a little bit bigger. I'm going to do just kind of realistic to start because that can kind of, Pablo Picasso used to say that he learned what the rules were before he could break them. So it's helpful to know what the proportions should be, and then you can do with them what you want once you're comfortable. So I'm going to add a semicircle down. That's going to be the bottom of my eye. So it kind of has a little bit of a football shape. You can make it look a little bit more realistic by adding a little curve there for the inner corner of the eye, that little pink tear duct, and closing that off. From there, I'm going to put in just loosely where my nose is going to go. I don't know where this line came from. And from your eyes to your chin, your nose is actually right in the center. So from your eyes to your bottom of your nose, it's the same or similar from your nose to the bottom of your chin. So I'm going to put a line around where the halfway mark is. You might notice that a lot of times I don't do one smooth line. I'll do kind of multiple lines and then choose the one that I like the most and use that. So here's kind of where my nose is going to go. And then halfway between the bottom of the nose and the chin is where the mouth is going to fall. So I'm going to draw one more line where the mouth is going to fall. And you can already start to see the proportions coming in. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to think about the width of the nose. If you do a line straight down from the inner corner, that's actually where the outer corner of your nose is going to go. So I can drop this line straight down, and this is going to be where my nose is. The way that I like to do noses is a little bit strange. What I do is I do a circle for like that ball of the nose in the middle, a smaller circle, and a smaller circle. So it kind of looks like a strange version of a Mickey Mouse head. From there, I actually will take my eraser and I'm going to actually erase, and let's try to get a little bit smaller. Erase that. And now here's my trick. Curve it up. So it looks like the insides of the nostrils. Oh, no, go away, Siri. Go away, Siri. No one wants you right now. And there is the bottom of our nose. What we can then do is actually curve up this line, and this is going to be the bridge of the nose, which is going to be where our eyebrows go. You can make the nose a little bit wider if you want by making this a little bit wider, or you could even change the shape altogether. Let's say doing like this. I'm going to just erase some of those earlier lines so I don't confuse myself. And that's going to be kind of the basic shape of your nose. If you want to curve this down, I think that also looks nice. In terms of the mouth, how I like to think of it is kind of like this. I like to think of it like starting with the line in the middle where the mouth, the top lip and the bottom lip meet. It does have a little curve right here. So one more time just to show that. It's usually going to curve a little bit in the center. But be sure that you are looking in a mirror, you're looking at a picture in order to be able to refer back to. Depending on how large, small, wide, narrow the lips are that you're drawing, it's going to affect it. For me, my bottom lip is a little bit bigger, but my top lips are not. So what I like to do for the top lip is very different than the bottom lip. The bottom lip, I basically can just draw a curve like that. The top lip, we have these two little hills. So what I do is I actually draw two circles. You're going to notice a theme. I like to draw circles to kind of be like my building blocks to go on top of. And then I curve this down. Then finally, I just take my eraser and erase everything but the contour or outline. There you go. If you want to make it look a little bit more detailed, you can add like a little line. It's going to look like the curve of the lip, that kind of thing. But those are details that are totally up to you. From there, we can make the eyes look a little bit less like Storm from the X-Men. What you can do is see where you want your eyes to be looking. I like to have my eyes kind of looking straight ahead for a lot of my self-portraits because it kind of just feels right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a circle. Just keep in mind that most of the time when we think of the pupil and the iris, what we see in reality is different than what we think we see. So a lot of the time I see people drawing like that. That's not the size of our eyes. The iris, being that colored part of the eye, usually takes up almost the entire height of the eye unless your eyes are really, really open. Then it might be a little bit above or below. Or if you're looking up, you'll see the white of the eye below the iris. But generally, if you're looking straight ahead, your head is kind of at an even plateau. You're not going to see the whites of the eye above or below it. That is honestly how big your iris should be. So there's my circle. There's my circle. And now I'm going to draw my pupil, which is going to be the black part of the eye. Depending on how much light is in the room, it's going to change the size of your pupil. If they're not even, you can always make adjustments. I see that one of the eyes is a little bit bigger than the other. Not really going to deal with it right now. Also, kind of want to add a little bit more shape to the nose right now because I'm looking at it. I'm like, you know what? I want to give it a little bit more shape. There we go. What I'm going to do now is add some eyelids. Depending on how awake you want to look, it's going to change the size of the eyelids. It's kind of like, all right, you had some coffee, you got some sleep. This is going to be like, all right, you need to get a lot more sleep. You went to bed at like 3 a.m. kind of thing. So I just like to add kind of curve on top. Depending on the age of the person you're drawing as well, that's going to affect the under eye bags. For myself, when I feel like I haven't gotten enough sleep, I'll add kind of a line out here. But if you draw the whole under eye, you're going to make the person look significantly older. So unless that's what you're going for, don't do it. I did that with a drawing with my grandma once, and I still don't think she's forgiven me. From there, you can add some eyelashes. Regardless of your gender, you have eyelashes. It's up to you how prominent or non-prominent you want to make them. I think that having like a very light hand can go a long way. They are a lot thinner and fewer towards the inner corner of the eye over here. Then they get longer and more of them and a little bit darker towards the outer corner. They curve in one direction over here, and then they actually start to curve in the other direction as they get longer. Lower lash line has the same thing, but they're just shorter and much fewer of them. You know, unless someone's wearing like false eyelashes or whatnot. From there, you can add some eyebrows. Your eyebrows, really look at where they start, where they end. They are usually, according to a lot of eyebrow threading individuals, they are sisters, not twins generally. So I know my eyebrows start kind of closer to where my nose is. They arch and then extend a bit past where my eye ends. And I kind of like to make it a block and then I'll shade it in later. Same thing on the other side. Not going to get them symmetrical, and that's fine. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. So now we have the features. Now we need to do something about this potato head situation going. The best thing you can do for it is to actually feel the planes on your own face. So feeling around your eyes, how it curves in around the eye orbital, curves out where the cheekbones come out. Underneath the cheekbones, you have the hollow of the cheek leading down into the jaw and leading into the chin. So depending on your own face, it might be more angular, it might be more curved. This is going to be why it's important to have something to refer back to. So I'm going to curve in around the eye, curve down for the cheekbones. My cheekbones usually end around where the bottom of my nose is. Here's my jawline leading into the chin. Now I need to somehow manage to get something similar on the other side, curving in around the eyes, curving out for the cheekbones, curving down for the jaw, curving for the chin. At this point, if you want to erase any of the lines that you don't need anymore, unless you want to leave them for some stylistic choice, and I'm going to add some hair. It's up to you how you want to do your hair. I'm going to not do it. You know what? I'll do it kind of coming off my forehead a little bit. So when you're drawing hair, think about the direction that the hair is going in. I'm going to also think about the fact that I'm wearing headphones, but I'm just going to turn that into a headband instead so that we can talk about drawing ears. But I'm going to actually bring this down a little bit lower because right now my forehead's becoming a 5 head. Yeah, think a little bit lower. Just thinking about the direction that your hair is going. Think about the way that gravity is pulling on it or not. So right now it's kind of going up towards the headband. It's a little bit going down the side by the temples. And it's curving back for a bun, but you can't really see the bun right now. I'm going to just pretend that you can see my ears. My ears are going to come close to lined up with my eyebrow, and they're going to curve down to where my nose ends. So your ears are the height of your eyebrows to the bottom of your nose. You can add like a little curve for the inside if you want. You can add some earrings. And finally, oh, I forgot a chin. Just going to add a little curve there for the chin. Finally, what I'm going to do is add a neck. And it's a little bit at an angle. Something that I notice a lot is people doing like the very standard tree trunk kind of neck, which is fine. There's nothing to be, you know, nothing wrong about it. But if you want to add a little bit of just dimension and excitement, add some curves and some overlapping lines. So right now, the neck is kind of going at an angle. Collarbone is kind of coming off and it's going at a little bit of an angle. Like there's the collarbone, curves down a little bit. And you might have like a little line for the neck or on the other side. No, I think it's going to be that side based on the way that it's curving. And you can't really see the ponytail or like the what do I have, bun at the back of my head. So I'm not going to draw that. I'm going to add in a shirt, going to add in some earrings. So I have a lot of those. And from there you can color, shade, whatever it is that the next steps are. And there is your self-portrait.